Imagine an army that fights without firing a single shot. Soldiers who win battles not with bullets, but with deception. They create illusions that shatter enemy plans, leaving nothing behind but shadows. The summer of 1944 marked a turning point in World War II. Europe was scarred by years of conflict, and the Allies were preparing operations that would decide the fate of nations. Soldiers trained in fields and forests, commanders studied maps with obsessive care, and every move had to be calculated to minimize risk and maximize impact. Amid this chaos, a small but extraordinary unit was forming, the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, later known as the Ghost Army. Their weapons were not bullets or bombs. Their victories came through trickery and masterful illusions. Few knew of their existence at the time, and even fewer remember them today. Yet their work changed the face of warfare forever. The men of the Ghost Army were not typical soldiers. Many were artists, designers, photographers, sound engineers, and performance studios across the United States. Their mission was simple to state, but complex in execution. Create illusions so convincing that the enemy would be deceived into believing American forces were far larger and better equipped than they truly were. Every inflatable tank, every fake artillery piece, every radio transmission and recorded sound was part of a carefully choreographed performance designed to manipulate perception and protect real troops on the front lines. Training for the Ghost Army was unlike any other military program. Soldiers learned to inflate life-size Sherman tanks in minutes, to paint decoys so they appeared real from aerial reconnaissance, and to synchronize sound systems that could mimic the rumble of entire armored divisions. They practiced radio deception, transmitting coded messages designed to be intercepted and believed by German intelligence. The artistry of deception became a weapon, and every member of the unit had to master both military discipline and creative improvisation. Their first deployments began in France, shortly after the Normandy landings. The Allies faced formidable German positions, and intelligence suggested that enemy commanders were wary but highly observant. The Ghost Army was tasked with creating phantom divisions to mislead the enemy, drawing attention and resources away from the real advancing units. In the dead of night, teams would position inflatable tanks in fields, set up dummy artillery pieces, and arrange uniforms and tracks to simulate troop movements. Sound trucks, fitted with recordings of tanks, marching soldiers, and artillery fire, would be driven along hidden roads, broadcasting a convincing illusion of military might. Radio operators transmitted carefully crafted messages to reinforce the deception, making phantom units seem entirely real. One operation near the Meuse River exemplified the precision and danger of these missions. Soldiers moved decoys under cover of darkness, ensuring every tank and artillery piece was positioned correctly. Speakers were hidden along hedgerows, transmitting recordings of heavy machinery and troop movements. Any mistake could expose the ruse, inviting enemy reconnaissance or attack. At dawn, German aircraft flew over the area, photographing what they believed to be a fully deployed division. In reality, only a few dozen men and a handful of inflatable tanks occupied the field. The Germans, convinced of overwhelming force, repositioned their units, diverting attention from the real Allied operations and saving countless lives. The Ghost Army's work required constant vigilance and adaptability. Mechanical failures, accidental sounds, and human error could have catastrophic consequences. In one instance, a truck carrying decoys broke down just as German scouts approached. Soldiers quickly concealed the inflatable tanks in nearby woods, improvised a distraction with sound effects, and completed the operation without discovery. These moments of improvisation highlighted the creativity and courage necessary to execute their missions. Unlike conventional combat, the Ghost Army fought with intelligence, art, and psychological strategy, often achieving greater results with less risk to human life. Over the course of their deployment, the Ghost Army conducted dozens of operations across France, Belgium, and Germany. Each mission followed the same careful principles: create the illusion of strength, mislead the enemy, and protect real troops. Inflatable tanks and artillery, realistic troop formations, sound effects, and deceptive radio transmissions combined to create a multi-sensory illusion. Enemy forces reacted as if confronted with real divisions, repositioning troops and delaying attacks. The psychological impact of these operations was profound. German commanders reported confusion, hesitation, and miscalculation, demonstrating the extraordinary effectiveness of deception as a tool of war. The men of the Ghost Army not only fooled the enemy, but also navigated the pressures of secrecy and uncertainty. Every mission carried the risk of discovery, yet their success relied on precision and confidence. Soldiers developed innovative techniques for camouflage, sound projection, and communication, blending artistry with military strategy. They understood that their survival depended on maintaining the illusion, and that the lives of countless other soldiers rested on their creativity and discipline. By the end of the European campaign, the Ghost Army had saved lives, diverted enemy forces, and altered the outcomes of battles without firing a single shot. Their contribution remained a closely guarded secret for decades. After the war, many returned to civilian life, resuming careers as artists, engineers, and designers, carrying their remarkable experiences with them, but unable to share them publicly. Their stories, once classified, gradually emerged through declassified documents, interviews, and the recollections of those who had witnessed their ingenuity firsthand. The legacy of the Ghost Army lies not only in its military effectiveness, but also in its demonstration of how art, creativity, and intelligence can be as powerful as guns and tanks. Their story is a testament to human ingenuity under pressure, to the capacity for innovation in the most unlikely circumstances, and to the enduring impact of perception on reality. The Ghost Army proved that in warfare, as in life, sometimes the greatest victories are won not by force, but by imagination, strategy, and courage.